Hey, Mr. Stockinger here. I'm going to teach you how to use Google Drive to create a spreadsheet and use that spreadsheet to automatically do a linear regression and give you the equation of that line of best fit for you. So step one, get yourself to Google Drive. Easiest way there, in my opinion, is to go to the address bar of a web browser, preferably Firefox or Chrome, not Internet Explorer, and type in drive.google.com. You hit enter. This is my personal account. I'm going to switch over to the school account. And once you're in, you can see all your files in your drive. And what you want to do is create a new spreadsheet, Google Sheets. Now, spreadsheet software, this software is super powerful. It does all sorts of cool stuff automatically for you. And it's used a ton in the real world. When I was in banking, I used it nonstop. I've used it in every scientific job I've ever had. And for some of your homework, it's really going to help make your life faster. So highly recommended. Whether you need to use it or not, if you know how to use it, it can really make things faster for you. So this is a spreadsheet. You got column headings up here with letters, row headings in numbers, and then the boxes in the middle are called cells. So if you click around, you can do that right now. You're selecting different cells when you do that. Right now I've got cell F6 selected, and you can see whenever you select a cell that it kind of highlights the column and row headings, so that helps you know where you're at. You can even click and drag to select multiple cells at a time, and that's going to become really useful in a minute when we do our linear regression and create our chart. So I'm going to do an example out of an algebra workbook. If you're in my algebra class, it's page 81, and I'm doing number 1. So this is what I'm doing. And you'll notice that you can put stuff in these cells. I've already done that. So in this example, what you need to do is make a scatter plot of some data. Okay, create a best fit line and find the value of y when x equals 3. So we'll start with the scatter plot. Step 1, first thing you need to do is you need to get the data into the spreadsheet. So what you do is you create some column headings. I'm going to start my data right here in cell A5. It doesn't matter where you start yours. You could put it over here if you wanted it. It really doesn't matter. But I've got some X's and some Y's. So you select a cell, type X, hit enter. Now you've got a column heading there inside the spreadsheet. And then I'm going to use the arrow keys. You could also use the mouse, but I'll use the arrow keys to get up to the cell next door. And I'm going to type Y and hit enter. So now I've got a spot for X's and Y's. And now right beneath the X, get that cell selected and start typing the numbers. So in the workbook, I've got -1, hit enter, 0, 1, 2, and 4. And then under the Y's, I'm going to type in 3, 3, 1, 0, -3. Now these numbers came from the workbook, the algebra workbook. But in your case, depending on what you're doing, you might get those numbers from somewhere else. It might be data you collected during an experiment, whatever. Your X's and Y's, just get them into the spreadsheet. And then like I was saying, you can click and drag and then let go, and you'll have a bunch of cells selected, and you need to do that right now for all the data that you collected. So you move your mouse over that X, click and drag down to that -3 in the corner, and let go. And now all of that should be selected just like you see on your screen. If you screwed it up and you want another try, just move your mouse over and click somewhere else. That'll deselect what you just had selected, and you can try again. Click, drag, let go. Don't click anywhere else now, or you'll undo what you just did. So you've got to learn to click and drag and let go, and then stop clicking. And now we want to put a chart in here. So you go up to Insert and click that menu. That won't deselect it because you're not down in the spreadsheet area. But Insert a chart. And it already knows what cells to use because you had selected them. So you can ignore this whole page and pop over to this Charts tab. We are going to make a scatter plot. So click Scatter, click the colored dots, and bada bing, bada boom, there's a scatter plot of the numbers that I just typed in. So there's magic thing number one. Second step we wanted was a trend line, so I'm going to go to that Customize tab. I still haven't hit Insert yet. I'm over on the Customize tab. Scroll all the way down. If you want to add any of this junk, you can, but you really don't need to. It just kind of slows you down. If you were making a really nice graph for a presentation and you wanted to print it or put it in a PowerPoint, then you would want to put a title and get your colors all right and all that. But right now we don't need to do any of that. Just scroll all the way to the bottom and it says trend line right here. That's for the line of best fit. That's how we do linear regressions. So hit that and do linear, and boom, it creates a line of best fit automatically. Scroll down a little further. Now there's this new label chunk, and you can click use equation for the label, and now all of a sudden you've got both the line and its equation on the graph. Hit insert, and now that graph is actually in your spreadsheet. Now what I want you to do before we move any further is you move your mouse over this chart and click it once if you need to so that it's selected, and then move your mouse up a little and you'll get this hand. You can actually move the chart away from the data so that you can see both the scatter plot and the data that it's coming from. And you'll notice when you click a chart, especially like, oh, never mind. Sorry, Excel, if you click a chart, it'll show you which data are in the chart, but this one won't do it because it's Google, but that's okay. At any rate, we now have the equation of the line. If you're in my algebra class and you need to use that, the problem asks you for that equation, so you just write negative 1.27x plus 2.324. There's your equation. And then it also asks, I said we were going to find the value of y when x equals 3. You can either use a calculator to do that by plugging 3 into x, or you can just click off to the right here somewhere, anywhere you want, and you can use Excel like a calculator. The first thing you type is an equals sign. So equals, then you type your equation, negative 1.27 asterisk, that's the times, 3, plus 2.324. The equals tells it, hey, Google, I want you to calculate this. And then you type in what you want it to calculate, hit enter, and it just does it. So negative 1.486, that's the value of y when x equals 3. Okay, so that's pretty sweet. That was pretty easy. Here's where you're really hopefully going to fall in love with Google Spreadsheets. Let's say you go on and you want to do this exact same thing again with a whole different set of data. For example, you're in my algebra class and you want to go on to number 2. You don't have to redo everything that we just did. You just leave the chart there. You look at your new data and you select the cell that you want to start typing over, and you just type over the old numbers that you had. So like in number 2 in this algebra book, the x values are the same, so I'm just going to leave those alone. But the y values are different, so I'm going to go to the first y value and I'm just going to start typing over it. And watch what happens to the chart when I do that, every time I hit enter. Okay, so as I'm typing these y values in, the chart is just automatically updating. And the line of best fit equation automatically updated. So I'm already done with problem number 2. I've already done all that work lickety-split for another problem. So this is the real power of spreadsheets. Once you've got a spreadsheet set up, you can just start typing over data and it automatically updates things for you. Super duper fast. Love them. I hope you love them too, and I hope it helps you on your current and future homework.